At least 5 people have been killed just moments ago in another brazen attack, this time on a matatu in the populated Eastleigh neighborhood here in Nairobi. In a short while, we'll be taking you live to Eastleigh to bring you the very latest information we have from that location. We want to show you some of the very latest pictures we are receiving coming out of this blast incident. Let's start by taking a look at that footage. Another bloody Sunday here in Nairobi. Terrorists having had some success, killing 5 people who are on board a matatu in the Eastleigh area. We've got our crime and investigations reporter from The Standard, Cyrus Ombati, online to bring us up to speed with the very latest information as regarding this incident. Cyrus, thank you for joining us. Why don't you begin by telling us at about what time did this blast occur? We do know that it is believed the assailant managed to get out of the matatu just before the blast went off.
As you can hear, there is an ambulance running around here. It was, they're saying it was around 3:30, and the matatu was carried out. It was full because it was coming from Eastleigh headed to Kariobangi, and these nears and stressors. Which I say there's a man who alighted from a matatu. Then behind him there was a vehicle which was trailing him. So after alighting from the matatu, and he was trying to actually get into this car which was trailing from behind, he missed the door, and he actually fell on the road as the matatu was speeding off. Then all of a sudden there was that explosion now which went off. So far 5 people are dead, which I saw personally. I saw 5 people on the road. Several have been injured and rushed to hospital. The suspect himself was arrested by the public which was around here, and he was beaten up thoroughly before police arrived and saved him. He was saved while bleeding, and he's in fact, I think he's in Kenyatta National Hospital. Police say this explosion could be an IED, an improvised explosive device, but the damage is extensive here, as I can see what I can see. And police say that the attackers could have been also armed with an AK-47 rifle, because there are so many gunshots here which are being seen around. Now, after the explosion, what I can see here, and I can see the people here against that, they're fighting people. Anybody who looks like a Somali is being actually fought around here, and there are chaos and clashes here. Police are trying to ensure that they save the situation by trying to divide between the locals and the non-Somalis.
Okay, Sarah, some crucial information you're giving us there. Let me just break it down a little bit further for the benefit of our audience. Right now, you're saying that that scene has been secured by police officers, but there are running battles with a section of the public who are attacking Somali residents. This may very well be Kenyan Somalis just living in the populated Eastleigh area.
Sure. That's what, there's a lot of confusion around. Even people are being brought here where we are injured. Actually, the clashes are now inside Eastleigh itself. Because you see, it's in Teresa's, where it is, the section itself is near Juja Road. But now where the clashes are between the locals and some of the people who are Somalis, so they could be Kenyans or those of Somali itself, it's happening inside deep Eastleigh itself. And according to police, it's turning out to be bloody and people are trying to loot using the situation. You can hear even ambulance sirens are kind of all over here.
Yes, and that situation could very easily degenerate given just the massive population that is in that area and the congested infrastructure. For instance, if police needed to call in reinforcements, it would certainly take time. But do tell us, it does appear, even from a layman's point of view, that there is this kind of persistent attempt to pit Kenyans, indigenous Kenyans and Kenyan Somalis against each other. Some would even go as far as saying, this dates back to the blast that we've been seeing happening in churches and a kind of scheme to pit Kenyans one against the other. What do you think of those thoughts?
Because even by the time actually we arrived at the scene, before even police could take charge of the situation, the locals here were really beating up those people they are seeing as Somalis. Because all along they are saying that Somalis are the ones who have been behind all these attacks. Not necessarily all Somalis, or rather you can say they are not the ones who are terrorists. It's only that this perception which is there that they are the ones who have been attacking people here, or rather throwing grenades or any other explosives which are going on around.
Yeah, could you give us more information on this man who you say is believed to be the assailant who residents managed to capture? You did mention he was lynched, may possibly be at the Kenyatta National Hospital, I would suppose under police guard. Do we know anything more about him? Anything that could give us some inclining as to who this man is? How old is he?
He's kind of a middle-aged man. I saw him personally, but he was bleeding at the time when we arrived and police saved him from the ground. But as also we have talked to police here, they're saying he's stable in hospital, and they're trying to kind of make him stable so that they can talk to him and hear what he has much more to tell. And who the other occupants who managed to escape in the other car, which witness say he was trying to kind of board before escaping from the scene, who they are.
Do you know how many were in this car that you say was trailing him?
Witnesses say they saw 3 people, but then the car had tinted glass, so you could not be able to see deep inside the car. You don't know what was inside. But then we also don't know whether the ones who shot at the gunshots which are around here. So that's what police are trying to establish, whether the gunshots which are being fired here, they came from a weapon known to them or the weapon which belonged to the suspect, and so who managed to escape.
Yeah, and of course, I would imagine that police may be examining other avenues in trying to capture who really was behind this attack, say for the man who is now at Kenyatta. Now their major interest is the man who's at Kenyatta Hospital, because he could give them much information regarding this attack, if indeed he's the one who's behind it, as the locals are claiming that they saw him alight from the Matatu before it went off, before it blew up. Even the driver himself of the Matatu, he survived. Miraculous result. He was not injured actually at all. And he looks kind of confused. He can't, because whatever he's saying is not comprehensive in a way. So police are trying to talk to him in a way that can give him more information whether he saw the man aboard the Matatu or not. Okay. Let me just recap this for the benefit of our viewers. If you're just joining us, we are happening right now. We know that 5 people have been killed in an explosion that took place about 3:30 in the Eastleigh area of Nairobi. Several people have been wounded. We do understand that area residents are saying there was a car that was trailing the particular Matatu, which was part of this blast. A man had exited the Matatu shortly before the blast went off. Those around believe that he may have been the one behind this attack. He was apprehended, lynched even. Police rescued him, is now at the Kenyatta National Hospital. Police also holding some 3 individuals who were in that vehicle that was trailing the Matatu. We also understand that at least an AK-47 rifle has been recovered from the scene. There are also in parts of Eastleigh running battles between area residents. One community or I would say, one part of the community pitted against the other, the Somali population, locals accusing them of being behind the attacks. Certainly, of course, a lot of concern, a lot of fear is natural in such a situation, and particularly given the demographics of Eastleigh, which has a heavy Somali population, many Kenyan Somalis, many Somalis also who've come in from across the border, some who are in refugee camps, some who are fleeing, fighting in their country, maybe having found residence or home with local Somalis. So certainly an unfortunate thing that is unraveling right now, but police are trying to contain that particular skirmish. We are speaking to Cyrus Mbati, who's a reporter with the Standard handling matters of crime. We'll be speaking to him in a short while, but let's just take a look at these pictures that we are receiving coming out of Eastleigh and that particular blast that took place a short while ago.
Tunakuomba Mungu wa Israeli. Kama mfalme tunakuomba Mungu.